Back in 2002, the Internal Revenue Service started releasing this annual list. It's a list of 12 schemes and scams that puts taxpayers, businesses, and the tax professional community at risk. So today, I am going to go over all 12 of 2024 Dirty Dozen list. That's the name of the list, Dirty Dozen list. So number one is Bogus Tax Strategies. I know that you all have seen lots of marketing and commercials with people in the tax professional community stating that they can save you this amount of money on your taxes if you take this deduction, or if you do tax planning and do this. Well, although it is real and it is true that you have to be cautious and you have to be careful on who you are allowing to provide these services for you, because some of them are bogus. Number two is fraudulent offshore schemes. Number three is high income filers vulnerable to illegal tax schemes. That kind of goes with the first one that I just mentioned. A lot of people that are 6-figure, 7 figures, or 8-figure earners, you are always looking for tax credits and tax deductions. You're just looking for ways to save money on not having to pay Uncle Sam so much of your money. So be mindful of who you are allowing to provide these services for you, and make sure you fully understand what is being added to your tax returns, business and personal. The next one is spear phishing attacks, surge and new client scams. Number 5, tax advice on social media. I talked a little bit about that in detail on one of my other videos, so make sure you go back and you check that out. There's a lot of incorrect information being given on social media, so be mindful of what you're taking in and what you are applying into your business and your life. Make sure that you got the correct information, and it's not wrong, because if it is, you're gonna be penalized for it, because you have to understand that when you sign that tax return, you're signing stating that you are and you agree to 100% of what was put on your tax return. The next one is ghost tax preparers. I talked about that one in another video as well. A ghost tax preparer, in short, is someone that prepares returns, but they don't put their any of their information on the return. They don't sign the return. They don't put their business, their name, their PTN, anything. They charge you these really large fees, and they get ghost after they're paid. That's what a ghost tax preparer is. Number 7 is fake charities exploiting taxpayer generosity. It means exactly what it says, fake charities. So be careful about the charity donation. Number 8 is compromise meals that falsely claim their services are necessary to resolve IRS tax debt. I want to talk about that one because offering compromise is an amazing program for people that actually qualify for it. It's so good that a lot of people do not qualify for it. But there are businesses, there's tax resolution companies that are marketing and guaranteeing that they can get you approved for pennies on the dollars. Let's just say that you owe $100,000, and they're telling you that they can offer $2,000, and you can write the rest of it off. It can happen that way, but again, there are very detailed calculations. It's a lot that goes into that. Everybody don't qualify for offering compromise, so just be mindful about that. False fuel credit claims. That's another really big one that I discussed in a prior video. Helpful scammers offering to set up an online account. Be very mindful of who you are giving your private information to. Be mindful of who you are allowing to have access to your online account for the Internal Revenue Service. Number 11 is aggressive ERTC promoters. I'll talk about that one And a little bit of detail on that one. So the ERTC was the Employee Retention Tax Credit. This credit, the fraud that I saw with this credit was a lot worse than the PPP loan fraud. This credit was used for employers. An employer is a business owner that actually had employees. If you had employees and if you retained those employees during COVID, the government created this credit to incentivize you for retaining that employee, and you were able to qualify for a certain amount of credits on your 941 returns per employee. So a lot of criminals and fraudsters, they were creating these claims. They were selling dreams to businesses that probably didn't even qualify for the credit. Either they didn't have employees, the amount of employees that they really had were boosted up. Let's say you had 2 employees, but these people that are promoting these services are putting on the 941 returns that you had 20 employees or you had 100 employees. So it paid out, the government paid out a lot of money for this credit. There are a lot of current investigations going on with businesses that received this credit. If you know you didn't receive it, the Internal Revenue Service offered you more than enough opportunities to either pay the money back, redo it, amend it, and pay back what you weren't supposed to get. It's a lot going on with the Employee Retention Tax Credit. So be very cautious of that credit. And the last one is phishing and smishing scams. The phishing and smishing scams, make sure that if you're a business owner, number one, if you're a business owner, you should not be accepting any information that has like your social security numbers, bank account numbers. You shouldn't be accepting any of that type of information via email. If you do have to send an email, at least try to secure it or password protect it. But even securing it and putting a password on it, it still will not stop the hackers. I just attended a mastermind last week, and one of our speakers actually spoke about that. They told us that even if you secure a document, if the hackers want the information bad enough, they can encrypt, they can go in and they can get it. So those are your 2024 dirty dozen list that you need to be aware of. This is for the tax professional community, taxpayers, and businesses. This is for everybody. Make sure you are paying attention to these and tune in for my next weekly video.